Hey, what's up, y'all? If any of you have been on Facebook, especially, you must have noticed the list of 10 things that I like that most other people, no, 10 things that I don't like that most other people like, right? And I've actually enjoyed reading the lists of some people, some surprising things, and definitely some things that I'm like, yo, I'm glad somebody finally said that. You know what I mean? Um, but instead of just kind of like posting that list on Facebook, I thought I would actually like discuss them. And I really think that you should do the same thing, just to like kind of, put those ideas out there of, what contradictions we have with people we know, and even, what issues are on your mind that maybe should be on other people's minds. Now, number one is, for me, music that has black on black violence. For a long time, I've been saying that African Americans are the only people I know of that created a musical genre about their own self destruction. And I don't care what kind of lyrical wizardry people put into what they're saying. It's kind of like dressing up something like that almost makes it worse. You know what I'm saying? And when you see the fact that a lot of young people are losing their lives or basically wasting their lives, it's not the kind of thing that we should really be promoting. And being black myself, you know, I don't like music that encourages violence against me, you know. The second thing is, again, going back to music, and that's music with what is called misogynoir, which is a kind of portmanteau, a mixed word of misogyny and noir, basically meaning music that degrades black women, and again, it's really coming out of the same genres where there's this music that, just treats women like objects. I really don't think that music of any sort that treats any women of any type as objects, but I do feel like, again, it's something where we black people do a disservice to ourselves by trying to make an art out of that and make it somehow beautified when really it's an ugly thing, you know. Obviously, uh, I'm very close to a lot of African American women, starting with my immediate family, obviously my mother, my sisters, so many other people I know, cousins, aunts, it just goes down. Um, Now, the third thing is music that is about selling drugs. And that's the same thing. I mean, it's almost like promoting, even if it's a situation which is what some people say, where, you know what, I don't have a choice. This is the only thing that I could have done with my life. And again, I don't have a choice because I'm just trying to rap about reality, and that's what I know. And for all three of these musical items, again, people will say, look, I'm just trying to make it as an artist, and this is the type of, content that, record companies want to put out there. This is what the fans want. Um, I'm not trying to speak to other people's situations. I haven't really had time to sit down with people who promote that type of stuff in their lyrics to really find out what's going on. I'm just saying that it's obviously very popular because that stuff does sell, and that's the whole reason why people do it. But I don't like it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's destruction, and it's encouraging people to avoid other options in life because it's kind of like that's something that if I do, people will look up to me, and that's something that I will get respect from doing. But it's so destructive to the people that do it and everyone around it. I mean, imagine the life of someone who's selling drugs where you're dealing with, drug addicts are often people with a lot of other health issues. They could be diseased and sick, and you are actually feeding their sickness. You know what I mean? You know how their lives are being destroyed, and you can't feel good about yourself when you are profiting from them getting progressively worse. You know what I mean? So someone who really lives that reality, to flip it around and make it seem like something that's desirable, I mean, I really think that obviously there are some type of benefits that come from it, but the evil is much greater. Now, if someone's gonna say, "Oh, you're talking bad about hip hop, you're putting down rap music," I'm not. My parents introduced me to rap music on vinyl. in the 80s. And obviously my parents were playing it to their young children. It didn't have any of these three items in it. So it's not about rap music or hip hop. Rather, I say to the person who says that if I criticize these three things, I'm criticizing the entire genre, that this person is reducing the entire genre to black on black violence, misogynoir, and selling drugs. So I'm saying rap and hip hop is so much more than that. And if you take all of that out, there'll be so many songs and so many artists that you can listen to. And I feel like if people actually said, we're not going to listen to that, and we're going to actively promote not listening to that, the artists who are talking about better things, real things, will flourish because they'll feel that vacuum. And the people who are talking about those things are going to say, hey, you know what, what's the point of me doing it, right? So yeah, let's start a movement, honestly. Obviously, I would say probably most people in the world drink alcohol. I really don't like alcohol. It's not just because I'm a Muslim and it's forbidden. Rather, I genuinely, personally dislike it. Obviously, I have drank at different times in my life. It's been quite some time since I have drank. And I think even when I didn't really want to. You know, I mean, I started drinking like probably as a teenager, and it was like, we had to like almost like hold our nose and just like force it down our throat and swallow, you know what I mean, without tasting it at first. And then you kind of like force yourself to get used to it. And then, you know, yeah, you may have some memories, you may have some times when you feel like, you know, I can just get rid of my stress when I do this. I have a good time with my friends when I'm drinking and stuff like that. But there are so many other memories that I wish I didn't have, and I'm sure millions of other people wish they didn't have. And there's non-memories that we probably either wish we had or wish we didn't have. It's like, I don't even remember what happened, and I still wish it didn't happen. Alcohol's a risk factor for cancer, meaning when you talk about things that make you more likely to have cancer, if you drink, that automatically puts you higher at risk. It's a poison, you know, it poisons your mind. That's why you act differently when you're drinking, even if you just drink a little, because your mind's not working right. Just like your liver won't work right, and all the other organs in your body won't work right. It's a causal factor in divorce. It's a huge damage to any economy. Thousands upon thousands of work hours are lost every year due to alcoholism. And, you know, it destroys families. So it's not just about, you know, like I said, I'm not condemning it. I just don't like it. I don't like tobacco. It stinks. I used to smoke a few cigarettes a day, but it was kind of like I used to drink and then kind of like having a few cigarettes while drunk. And then one morning I woke up, I was like, oh, I'm not drunk, but I kind of still feel like a cigarette, like the little urge lingers. So I kind of got into it. And one of my friends was like, look, you know what, man? Why don't you just light this and then hand me the rest? Because you don't really like smoking, and I'm tired of giving you cigarettes. You just kind of holding it until it burns out after the first puff. So after I quit smoking, and I'm so glad I quit, I like once in a blue just, it's really weird. It was like years and years and years since I smoked, but I somehow still feel the urge. Like I would smell someone lighting a cigarette, and that fresh smell would be like, oh yeah. So one day I just tried it. Like I honestly tried it, and I felt so sick. I mean, I was dizzy. I was sick in my stomach, and I was just like, when is this feeling gonna go away? And I remember that's how it was like the first time I smoked. Like some friends and I got like some Swisher blunts, which aren't even supposed to be smoked for the tobacco. And we're just like laying on the table with our heads dizzy, like, oh, I feel sick, I feel dizzy. So I really don't like tobacco. And I don't like anything that is poisonous. So number 6, I don't know if anyone's been keeping count, but I only know because I have the numbers on this piece of paper. Other people's business. I remember one time, my sister and I were teaching at the same college, and we actually have the same office. And we're about the same on this particular point. This guy walked in, he was like, hey, did you hear about blah, blah, blah? And we were like, no, we don't want to know. And he's like, but. And we're like, yo, we don't want to know, man. Like, I don't want to be in the gossip and then like people know that I know, so like somehow I'm part of it. I don't have enough energy to be like devoting my mental strength and the few hours that I'm awake and free to just knowing, you know, mundane things about who's dating who's hating who, that sort of thing. Number 7, I don't like other people in my business. And this is a list of things which I think most people like that I don't. I feel like it's pretty common for people to just put their business in the street. And that social media street where people just, it might be things that it's not necessarily drama, but it's like, is this really the forum for those particular details? I mean, it's a question of taste, but for myself, I really don't like to broadcast a lot. I don't think that what I'd be telling is my right to tell because it would often involve those close to me. So if I'm really going to go into detail about something going on in my life publicly, and it's never going to be erased, even if you delete a post, it's on a server somewhere, and they're keeping their servers under the sea so they can be insulated from the heat can kind of like escape into the water without using all these fans. And also, so they're ultra secure. So once you put that business out, it's like written in stone tablets. Somebody's going to dig that up 1,000 years from now. You know what I mean? So if I'm putting my business out, it's really going to be like the business of the people closest to me. Do I have that permission? I don't think so. So even if I wanted others to know, I don't feel that I would really have the right to tell. Number 8, and I consider this popular because it's broadcast so much. I really don't like sex scenes. I find that I'm always skipping, right? Like I'm watching something at home and a sex scene comes, I just skip. Like I really don't need to see that. Like I understand that might be a part of the plot, right? Meaning the act itself might be a plot driver, but do I actually need to see it happen? And when you think about sex scenes, it's like, I dabbled in acting like a little bit, very, 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 very little. It's a cool story for another post. So I thought, like, what if I became an actor? I was like, yo, I wouldn't be able to do that, man. I would not be able to be, like, actually naked or just having, like, some kind of, I don't know, minimal, hidden type of underwear on and actually grinding to the point that I just couldn't do it. You know what I mean? I couldn't have somebody that I don't know on me. I can't think of any person I know that I would be cool. Let's just kind of like simulate sex naked and like, we're friends, so like it's okay. Like we should be comfortable like this. I don't know. Like I couldn't do it, and I don't see how other people do it. You know what I mean? It just, I don't want to see it. Like I said, I don't like to know other people's business. It's not really happening, but it's still an intimate thing. Just can't do that. You know what I'm saying? This one's a little bit more like philosophical, number 9, a little bit more intangible, and I didn't really know how to put it. That's why I was delaying actually making this video. Identity labels. That's the only wording I could put on it. I don't like labeling myself, and I feel that when you do, you have to live up to it. What other people think of it. So, for example, I don't really go around announcing to people that I'm this or I'm that. Even though I may be. Like, I may be, right? Because I don't know what they think that is. I may believe that I am that thing, that I am that label, that label applies. But it applies as I define it. I think that this word means X, Y, and Z. And I am or I do X, Y, and Z. So I feel comfortable thinking of myself with that word. But what if instead of X, Y, and Z, it means A, B, and C to that person? Or what if other people who use the same word are going to think that like now I gotta immediately jump into a us versus them. And that so many things that to which I don't think that label applies, I should still be in sync with as far as they're concerned. So I'd rather not like give people something about myself that I'll be forced to live up to. And I don't really try to like adopt what other people put on me. So it's a slippery slope because at the end of the day, we use words to know things and to recognize things. I mean, how far would it go? Can we no longer call a dog because not every dog acts like a dog? I mean, no, you know what I mean? So like, of course, I know that words have to be used and that I am certain things more or less. But, you know, sometimes it gets kind of weird where like, I think it's kind of funny and I hope nobody feels that I'm making fun of them, but like, whenever I'm on Facebook, I see this thing about empath. And it's like 10 signs that you're an empath and 10 things that empaths do that other people don't. You know, and if you are this and this and this and this kind of quirky stuff, you must be an empath. I'm like, why do you, it's almost like you kind of are becoming like ego driven, like I'm this and I'm so happy on this and I'm so glad I'm this. And now everyone else says this, well, I gotta be more of that than you are. So you're an empath, but you're not as much of an empath as I am, you know what I mean? So, and then, you know, there's a lot of gender labels and stuff like that. It's like, man, there are so many that it's going to come to the point where all the gender and sexuality labels are going to like collapse and they're like, you know what? Let's just call each other like one of like 2 to 5 words because, you know, there's so many that it's too many to keep up with and I'm not even sure which ones apply to me. I mean, am I more of a this or more of a that? You know what I mean? So again, I'm just not really into like the identity label thing, and I think it seems like it's pretty popular. Number 10, drum roll please, last but not least, is the N-word issue. So I can't say that a lot of people are into using the N-word, which I'm not going to say, and I try not to say. But I think there's, in addition to the fact that I don't like the word, it's the issue itself that I find annoying, it's ridiculous, and it's a tremendous waste of like energy, you know, and academic effort, let's say. Let me break that down. I don't think that the word should be used because it is derogatory. And I think that people who say, yeah, but you know, we've reclaimed it, I'm like, you can't reclaim something that was never yours. The dark-skinned peoples native to the Americas or who came before Latin and Latin language and English language speakers came, as well as the Africans that brought over, did not speak a Latin language, and the N word is rooted, as far as I know, in Latin languages. Basically, it's a kind of corruption of words that mean black. Now, in that sense, it could never be the word of us, those who are native to the Americas, or those who are native to Africa in the Americas, because we were not speaking Latinate languages before we got exposed to that word. So you can't reclaim something that was never yours. Reclaim means take it back, right? Redefining it, fine, but it's still their word, right? Western Asians, aka Europeans, invented the word, so it's like, it's theirs. If they shouldn't use it, fine. That's like I might own something or I may have created something that I shouldn't use, but it's still mine, right? So this idea that we'll use it, or this kind of, what do you call it, back etymology, where it's like, well, you know, it means negus or negus, because that's what the Ethiopian kings used to call each other. I'm like, yeah, they may not even be the way that they said it, and that's not where the word came from. West Asians, aka Europeans, were not trying to apply an Amharic word for king to the natives of the Americas and the natives of Africa that were brought to the Americas in captivity. So, you see what I mean? It's just so complicated. Why deal with it at all? You see what I'm saying? Like, why not just discard it totally? And it's kind of like, how would someone who's not black have friends and listen to music that everybody accepts them listening to, that use that word? So their friends use that word. Or they're listening to music and they like the song. Everybody sings in the shower. Everybody likes to sing and rap with their favorite song. So it's like, sometimes that word is used as the end rhyme. So you couldn't even sing along. It's not like it's in the middle of the line. It's at the end of the line. So like the next line or the previous line rhymes with the N word. So like it's almost like impossible to not say it. And you know what I'm saying? And it's like all my friends say it and they're all cool with me and they know I'm not racist, whatever. But if I say it, it would automatically be racist. You know what I mean? So it's like, why make all these intricate games and lines? Why not just, you know what I'm saying? So those are my top 10 popular pet peeves. Music with black on black violence, music with misogynoir, music about selling drugs, alcohol, tobacco, well, not firearms, but other people's business, other people in my business, sex scenes, identity labels, the N-word / and or the N-word issue. So what would be really dope is if you commented with your top 10, or if you commented about my top 10, or if you commented with a link. This would be the best thing. Create some content. Comment with a link to your video about your top 10. And the absolute best thing, and I would love to become new friends with somebody online, or just start a new dimension of a friendship with somebody that I already have online. What if we like debated, right? We just went back and forth, chopped it up on each other's top 10s. Anyway, definitely inviting comments. I'm definitely inviting shares, and I'm definitely inviting follows, because I'm going to be bringing some more stuff like this. I hope you know what I'm saying, got your intellect sparked. And peace. I'll see you soon.